Descalza original. And so is she.
Oh, people are looking at me. Good afternoon. I am Lisbeth Carolina Arias, and I am the founder of Descalza. Descalza is a handcrafted, fit-for-you clothing brand where we source and collaborate with artisans from Latin America to create unique statement pieces here in North Carolina. My story doesn't begin here. It began in El Salvador. And when I was 2 years old, this little girl was brought here to the United States. I grew up with one foot here in North Carolina and the other in El Salvador. As I got older, I started to notice that the same problem I was facing as I was growing up here in the United States, other millennial Latinos and millennial immigrants were facing the same thing. How do you move forward in this country? But at the same time, you don't forget about your roots. You don't forget about where you come from. And you especially don't forget about the people who are still at home. And so I choose fashion because we all know that it's one of the best ways that you can express yourself. It's the skin that you choose to put on every day to tell people who you are and what you want to say. And so Descalza works this way, through our transparency, through our supply chain. See, the story echoes mine. The fabrics start in El Salvador, in Guatemala, and all throughout Latin America. They weave the fabrics, the artisans, by hand. After the fabrics are made, they're brought here to North Carolina. And here's where I work with manufacturers, such as Opportunity Threads, Brown & Church Knitwear, TS Designs, and I also work with local seamstresses in my hometown of Sanford, North Carolina. After those clothings are made, then they're brought to me. I check them, make sure they're good, and I send them out to the customer. I started Descalza last year. I launched a Kickstarter, and in the Kickstarter, I raised over $21,355 with the help of 269 backers, all within a month. And when I noticed that this project meant more than anything else for myself and for these backers and for the community, I had to turn it into a brand. And so this past summer, I launched a website. And in that website, I launched a new collection. And so now the goal is that next year, I hope to become B Corp certified. See, my story is about the people. It's about my community, both the one here in the United States and the one in El Salvador. And the goal is that one day, when a customer buys Descalza, they can go to Latin America, they can go to El Salvador or Guatemala, and they can visit the artisan for themselves and thank them. And so, unfortunately, we know the fashion industry is not the most transparent industry that we have. And because of that, sometimes people hesitate. You know, are you being authentic? Is this real? Can I trust you? The B Corp certification does that for Descalza. Because if you know me personally, obviously you can. But if you don't know me yet and you need that extra push, still do it for me. And so I took the assessment and I was overwhelmed. There's a lot going on there. Some of it that I know and some of it I don't know. Why? Because I'm only a year old. And so I need help in documenting, making sure that what is working right now, we can catch that, we can document and keep going forward. And with what we haven't gone across yet, how do you create a plan for that? So when I do get to that stage, when I do start hiring employees, how do I make sure that I'm still making the same impact that I'm making today? So I know that we can do this together. I know that together we can empower these communities, both the one here and the one back at home, by redefining fashion through the fabrics that tell our story. Thank you.